Hello everybody, this is Kiereek here. We're doing the review portion for Dark Souls. And this is Dark Souls with the DLC. Now this is one of my favorite games out there. It's an action RPG. It has some very deep lore for action RPG. I love it a lot. And you make progress through challenging worlds, you slay bosses, become powerful, and there's even the opportunities to duel others at various times. That's others in terms of humans and also NPCs. Now, if any of you have played this game before, you'll know it's pretty well known for being a kind of a challenging game. I find that it's really not so challenging once you get to know it, but it really is a high learning curve. So once you learn the game, it's not too bad. Now, its pros. Excellent combat. If you ever watched a video of this, you'll know there's dodging, there's swiping, there's so many things you have to consider. The terrain, and it's responsive, and that really means a lot to me. The good controls it has, it's tight, and you really notice you want to dodge this way at that second, you're going to be able to do that. There's no input lag unless you're playing on PS3. I think they had some problems. The challenge, it is masterable. That means to say that if with practice you can be really good at it. There are people who make the game on soul level 1 runs. I remember doing that on Xbox, so you can make a really low level invasion character. Those are good times. And what it really comes down to when you lose is lack of knowledge. So if you're not doing so hot, it's because you don't know the attack pattern of the enemy, you don't know what things to avoid, and you don't know how to use your weapon properly. You need to practice more. It has an amazing story, and it's not an outright story, but it's very buried in the details of items and the details of the enemies around, and kind of what you have to fill in the gaps here and there, which is really a story that gets you thinking and it gets you involved. It's not just laid out there for you. There's tons of videos out there about that. People go crazy over it. The interesting characters are a big plus. It's not just the same generic knights over and over, the same generic zombies. You see a lot of those guys in the beginning, but as you go on, you start to run all sorts of things: armored boars, giant crystal like golems, hydras. The bosses themselves, they really vary. There's a few like dragon-like things, but they're all kind of different, right? Like if you think of the big red fire bridge dragon versus the hydra, which is kind of like a dragon, I guess, versus the dragons in the DLC. It's a big difference, and it keeps it interesting. And the weapon design is also pretty varied. Like you do get a few types of, short swords and a few types of scythes, and while a lot of them function kind of the same, they do have their differences and their specialties, and that really matters when choosing a weapon. The DLC now, it's pretty sizable. If you haven't picked it up, it's pretty late now. You should, because it's pretty decent and it follows in the footsteps of the base core game. You do have to play it before you finish the core game. It does have a sizable amount of content, so you shouldn't be bored with it. There are, at least 3 or 4 bosses included, and they're challenging bosses intended for the higher level characters. The worlds are sizable, so you'll have plenty of stuff to run around, and there's a good handful of new items as well. So if you're looking for a good expansion and you want more of the base game, I do suggest picking that up. Now, another great thing is the noticeable level and strike advancement. Basically, as you're progressing, you do really notice like your experience points, what you're putting them into, what are you spending your souls on, and especially with weapon upgrades. If you are having a hard time getting past a part, I do suggest upgrading weapons and armor. They are even more beneficial than upgrading your skill sets. Sometimes it can be hard to know and really feel the difference in games when you upgrade, whether you're getting a good return on those upgrades, but you really do notice it in Dark Souls. Lastly, level design. Similar to character design, there's a good variance, and it really makes sense. Like, it fits together. You can see other parts of the world that aren't even close from where you are, like looking down the Undead Berg from when you first come in, and the fact you can jump off and jump down into it, that's an incredible connection, and it really adds to like the realism and immersion in the game for me. And I know that everything kind of makes sense on where it is, and I can get to it in a logical manner. Okay, now for the cons. And I hate to do this because, like I said, I do love this game. Now, To me, the patches killed the replay value. Not patches the character, but patches the game fixes. They did change the way that great swords worked and the way that a lot of heavy armor worked. They fixed that flip ring, and by fixed, I guess they mean they nerfed it. And most importantly, they nerfed the bottomless box glitch, which was when you could basically duplicate items by transferring them from a existing character onto a new character, and all you had to do was obtain the bottomless box again, and there you go. All your items were with that new character. Now that made twinking very easy, but more importantly, apart from the people who abused it, it made role-playing characters very easy. Now, there's a lot of us on Xbox, at least I remember originally, we would make builds, and I don't know if you guys remember some of the events that went on. There was a pig night event that was extremely fun, but it'd be impossible. Like, I don't want to raise a character to level 50 just to compete in an event, but if I can transfer all my stuff, well, it's kind of fun to make a themed build pretty much whenever you want it, and unfortunately the patches took that away. It's not the most visually detailed game, and by that I mean the textures were kind of crap a lot of the time. Now, it's not a huge issue, but it does kind of make it age less well, and going back now, like, it still looks fine and it plays fine, right? Like, it feels good, but you definitely notice up close a lot of the textures are like, wow, I can't believe they got away with that. Like, there were a lot of games at the time which did a lot better, and I understand that it was the first Souls game to be really highly published. Like, Demon Souls was there, but it wasn't really as out there. It was kind of still cult classic, I'm going to call it, because it didn't get all sorts of publication. People weren't going crazy over the internet over it, and as a result, Demon Souls didn't really get as big, I think, as Dark Souls. It definitely got a lot of publicity as Dark Souls got popular, but like, I don't remember Demon Souls being a big thing, whereas everybody played Dark Souls, even people who weren't like into that kind of game. You know, I think that led to a lot of the issues of people claiming it was so hard as well. Like, people who normally don't play these kind of games, and then they getting killed a lot, and they, well, this is really hard. Well, you know, things that would be really hard to me, you know, might be like calculus. I'm not good at calculus, but it doesn't mean that it's really hard if you take the time to get good out of it. All right, last con, the end game. So when you go in there and you fight Gwyn, it's nothing compared to the fights like Smo and Ornstein, you know, or even what's his face, the Seath, the dragon, Scaleless Seath. So I feel like they could have done a better, bigger finale. It does have its significance. Like, he's frail, an old man. It's kind of a symbol of like decrepitness of the whole empire that he's built, the whole kingdom that he built. But I don't know. I wanted more challenge, but that's fine. It's fine. I'll let that one slide, I guess. Onto the scores here. Gameplay. I mentioned I thought it was tight. I love the controls. I love the feeling. So I have to give that a 3 out of 3. That's perfect for me. This game epitomizes the perfect gameplay, in my opinion. As far as addiction, it's pretty addictive. I played this for hundreds of hours. Not on Steam, but on Xbox. And by the time I got to Steam, I just played through it for the Let's Play on this channel, but so many hours I put into it. And I got up in the morning, I played it. I stayed up late and played it. It's crazy. Addiction, 1.5 out of 2 for sure. Reliability, I never had an issue. If anyone else had issues, I don't know, chime in, because I've never had a problem. The only thing, I guess, is on PC, but it would like take care of a graphical issue afterwards, like with other programs, but it's actually not related to the game itself, so I don't think I can knock it down on that. As for atmosphere, incredible atmosphere. The music's amazing. The world I already mentioned is incredible. The enemies, it really gets you in there, and you learn to love the world and learn about the world. So it's a 2 out of 2, perfect score on that one. Finally, replay value. There is replay value. It certainly is diminished, I can mention, after the patch, because I can't quickly replay through, but there's many builds you can do. The game is, I don't know, it doesn't get old for me. I can play through it a lot, play through it with friends, you know, continue to duel. I dueled for a long time, just sitting in the area right by Priscilla before Smo and Ornstein and waiting for invaders. And Man, so many invaders. Pass a lot of time. Lots of replay that way. 1.5 out of 2 for me. That brings the total to 9 out of 10. So that's pretty much the highest score I think I've ever given. And I don't know if anything will beat it in the near future. Like, this is one of my favorite games. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you haven't played the game yet, I highly recommend it. It should be pretty cheap. I think you can get the Prepare to Die edition on Steam for like $5 nowadays. So have a good day. Thanks for watching this, and I'll see you again soon. Make sure you watch the gameplay portion, and take it easy. It's been a good fucking playthrough. That's Dark Souls. I defeated the thing right away, but I never got the key. I don't get it.